What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to Living Life Fast. You join me at a ridiculous time of the night. I'm not even going to tell you the time, and I know a lot of you have been complaining about these nighttime videos. I promise this could be possibly one of the last ones. Now, you know what, there's going to be more, but as I said, I do read the comments. I send a lot of complaints, but I still don't think I've dialed in these night videos yet. So yeah, I just thought I'd take you for a little drive in the M4, give you an update on what ownership's been like. It's been 14 months, I've done 19,000 miles. God knows how I've done so many miles. So I'm just going to be as honest as possible. May help somebody who's looking at buying an M4. And also we will kind of go over some of the mods as well. So ain't going to be some super long video. We'll just get straight to the point. So as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in a sec. Right, so I think we'll start off by going to the petrol station because I've got 15 miles in the tank, and this is just a normal thing for me. Believe it or not, this car's been parked up for about, I don't know, I'd say about 6 days. Like, I literally started it up and the brakes are just squeaking. It's so ridiculous how little this car gets driven, but somehow I've managed to do 19,000 miles. God knows how I've done that. Oh, it's just actually touched 19,000 on the dot right now. As I say, 40 miles on the clock. We're going to fill up Shell V-Pack, so I was going to update you on exactly how much a full tank is. So yeah, we'll start off by doing that. You know what? This is why I hate filling up a full tank. So you've got to stand there for so long. 82. So there you have it, £87 and 3p to fill up a full tank. So that's how much this video's cost me so far. I swear to God, I don't know the last time I filled up this tank. Oh, I didn't even check how much the fuel is here. God knows. It's expensive though, I can tell you that. Well, before we do start the video, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who continues to comment on my videos, like the video, subscribe, and just talk about living life fast in general. It feels like I don't really speak to you lot much. I don't even introduce my videos usually. It's just straight, meet the owner, get stuck in, what's the car about, and I just drive, you know. There's so many other opportunities that I'm missing throughout this channel. And on that note, I do want to just say to you, there's going to be some massive change with Living Life Fast. I've decided that I definitely want to get a little bit more involved, and I want to provide my own content for the channel, you know. Obviously, I'm very reliant on owners to contact me and film their cars, but yeah, as I say, I want to start providing my own content, and I do have some cool announcements coming either this month or it could be early next month. So yeah, let's get stuck into the video. And obviously we just put £87 in the tank, and that has given me 275 miles. I would say that's pretty accurate. I reckon if I was to jump on the motorway, I personally think I could achieve 275 miles from this tank. Obviously that will change as soon as you get onto the motorway. I didn't plan to fill the tank up. I just thought, you know what, let me just do it for the video. And I would have guessed around 250 to 300 miles. Miles per gallon, I could never tell you. I've never, ever worked out the miles per gallon on any car I've ever owned. So what I can say to you is the petrol's not too bad. So first thing, let's talk about reliability, because if you're anything like me, I have to have a super reliable, I can't even see. I literally can't see because of this light. If you're anything like me, I have to have a reliable car. And you know the reason why I need to have a really reliable car is because I'm not a mechanic, and I'm not even mechanically minded. So if I have any type of issue, I'm going to be on the phone to a company, or I'm going to be taking it straight to a company to look at it. Any light comes up, there's no way you're going to catch me under the bonnet. And that is why I want a reliable car. This is the type of road you see it goes. Like, what is this light in front of me right now? Bro, this car has been very, very reliable. It's been flawless when it comes to reliability. I've not heard any noises, no squeaks, knocks, no lights have come up on my dash. It's genuinely been flawless when it comes to reliability. That is why I like German cars. The only thing I've really heard about this car is the crank hub failure. So the crank hub tends to slip in these engines, and it can actually cause engine failure, and I've known a number of people that's happened to. So it's a real problem, but BMW, they will fix it under warranty, so it's no problem. Obviously, if your car is tuned, then you're on your own. I've looked into how much a used engine is. You're looking at around £5,000, and then God knows what it's going to cost to have it fitted if you're not a YouTuber. Boy, driving it now, like, oh man, I really do love this M4. This is my absolute dream car. I know it sounds so cheesy. If you're not aware, my dad used to own an E36 M3. Naturally, it's got me loving M cars. Anything BMW, I'm definitely a big fanboy of. If you're new to the channel, this car runs some pretty cool mods. We've got hybrid turbos running water methanol injection. We've got the crank hub fix. So as I mentioned about the engine failure, there is a fix for it. You're looking at about £3,000. I've had the seats, the wheels, suspension, big brakes. It's just like, even the new colour, Bronzo Zenith. I am in love with this car, and there's nothing that I don't like about it, you know. The cabin itself, it's still a very, very nice place to be. You know, it is a 6-year design. This car was introduced in 2014, so it is getting on now, but this is a 2018 model competition pack. And you know, we've got splatters of carbon in the cabin, and you know, BMW, they've got this real nice ambient vibe about it. You know, you've got the black leather door cars with the white stitching. It's not Audi or Mercedes quality, you know, as in, okay, let's not say quality. It's definitely very nice quality, but the design of the Audis and Mercs, I'm a massive fan of. As soon as I get into one, I do kind of lose my mind. Man, we're back down this dodgy road. I'm telling you, it's not even a game. Like, this is a very scary place. Having the KWV3s installed with the lightweight wheels, I've noticed how much more forgiving this car is. Like, the M4 is a car that demands a pretty good driver to extract all of its potential, yeah? When the back steps out, you can be a bit more slack with the car. It recovers a lot quicker than before. Before, it felt a bit more clumsy, and when the back came out, you really had to sort of get the opposite lock on, and really kind of scared you. Like, it doesn't really scare me as much now. I feel way more confident when I'm just taking it into like high-speed bends. Like, even just when I take my normal route home, I just feel like I can just fly into any corner. I'm not touching the car's limits. And as I say, even when the car does step out now, it just recovers. You know, it slides, but then it quickly gains back composure. So we just put it in sport mode. You can probably hear the exhaust becomes a little louder inside the cabin. We did have the Armatrix exhaust taken off. Brakes are amazing. Gonna spin it around up here. Let's go traction off. See that kangaroo in? It's a seriously fast car, and I'm not sure if like you notice me, I'm so honest about my car, and it's not that I'm being honest in a negative way. I'm just trying to give you as much feedback as possible, but you always hear me talking about the fact it's now got so much power that it spins up a lot, and most of the time I am provoking it. I'm not, you know, it's not doing it by accident or flattening the throttle in places where you probably shouldn't. Have I ruined the car by running so much power? I wouldn't say I've ruined the car. Like, the power definitely is still very controllable. It's still a full-on M4. It's not become like an American muscle car where it can't take corners and it's only fast in a straight line. The only problem with it is that you get up to such high speeds so quickly that, you know, if you're a person that likes to roll gears and, you know, have a nice spirited drive, that is what is now missing from this car. The intentions of putting the turbos on, or whatever it is I did to the car, was to just make a very fast car. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew the capability, and if you look at the times that this car produces, this is genuine supercar territory. Now, you got to remember that a supercar is a different machine. It's a consistent machine. On the odd occasion in a rolling race, you will smoke a lot of cars, but the problem is it's not consistent. Yeah, a supercar is very consistent. I don't know why we're talking about supercars now. When I jumped into Big Dre, remember Big Dre's M2, like, that just give me a reminder of what I like about cars. I like to use the throttle in corners. You can't use the throttle, the line's too thin. Like, you know what I mean? You're talking 700 horsepower, 658 to the wheels. You know, that's 250 brake horsepower more than a stock M4. And I like to get on the throttle, you know, like when I drove the Caterham 160S, I just like the fact that I'd rode 3-4 gears and I was only doing 40 miles per hour. You're not breaking the law. And that is the only issue with this car. So I'm not trying to be negative and say that I don't like the car, but that's the only thing. You're now traveling at very fast speeds. It's like a supercar. Like, what can you do in a supercar? You know, it's you know, they can do 200 miles per hour, but where are you going to do it? You know, is the question. I'm driving now like it's 1.5 degrees, flat foot in third. See, it's just very, very savage. And you know what, the KW V3s, they are so good. For some of you that have been following me for years, you'll know that I love to power slide cars. I like to kick it out around roundabouts, and you know, I like to do a bit of drifting. I'm definitely no drift king, but this car, you may have noticed I've not done any drifting in it, and there's a reason for that, and that is the stock turbos. The power and torque is available from, say, 1800 RPM. In this car, it's around 5000 RPM, so it requires so much more commitment to get this car. Like right now, this little bit here, I can't just do a 180. Like if I put my foot down, there is no torque and no power at the bottom of the RPM. So what I do find is the car just understeers. As I go to do like a little 180, it's not the same as having a manual where you can just dip the clutch and get up in the RPM. Now you have to really, you know, if you do want to do a small little 180, you've got to agitate the car. It's the only way to get the wheels spinning. Or you have to be traveling at a high speed. So you either have to be at the top of first gear, which I've never used for drifting, or you've got to be in second gear at a very high RPM. And as I say, it just requires a bit of commitment. Like usually I just like that low end torque where I can just squirt the throttle, it just throws itself to the side. But I do want to say, since having the KW V3s installed, where the car's become more stiff, the car definitely slides a bit more. So when I had the stock suspension, I always used to drive it in comfort just so that it could squat and get a bit more grip. But now I can be going around like, you know, obviously the weather's pretty bad. It's 1 degree outside right now. I just noticed straight away by having the suspension how much more control and how much more confidence it gives me. So I noticed that I could just kind of agitate the wheel and it would go into a slide. It's weird because you'd think upgrading the suspension, you're going to have a lot more grip, which you do. But at slow speeds, it can definitely still slide. But the car's, without fail, a lot more predictable. If you are new to the channel, I will link up the previous video I shot where I went over all of the modifications on this car. Let's go for a little look at that sideways. Traction off. As I say, it's like 1 degree out here, but you just got to really guard the throttle. Flat. It's so damn fast. I've not been in this car for so long. And you can hear the Venturi up front. Man, it sounds so good. But I mean, with the suspension, it doesn't tramline. Like on throttle, it stays dead straight. And that is what I like about the suspension. It was developed on like B roads, motorways, and obviously it was developed also on the Nürburgring. But look at this, dead straight, man. So many cars I get into and they've got a real track dedicated suspension. The main point was to keep its daily drivability. It's way more nimble, like it spins, but it's not bad. Like considering the weather, this car in stock form I would say feels definitely a lot more dangerous. But second gear, no, let's give it a little throttle. Yeah, you gotta be very, very careful, man. Speedo climbs up very, very fast. One thing I noticed straight away when having the KWs installed was the car felt literally, it felt about 200 kilos lighter. That is not an exaggeration. It feels like there's so much more support on each side of the car. And it's weird because I always look at M cars as the perfect handling cars, you know, and to be able to improve on it is just, it's weird for me, do you know what I mean? Because they are set up really good from factory. So then when I fitted the wheels with the suspension, what I noticed was because the wheels are lighter, they're like 8 kilos lighter per corner, I noticed when I'm going over potholes, I can really feel the wheels rebounding back up, like not crashing, but you could definitely feel how much less work the suspension's got. I did notice on the motorway that, you know, you're sitting lower, you definitely feel the bumps on the road a lot more, but it feels so much more in control of itself. I find the M cars, they get a bit crazy as you start to get high up in the RPM. They start to, it's like your head starts to vibrate, like it really revs and revs and revs, and it really does kind of add to the experience. You know, it's kind of what I love about this car. They're very, very entertaining. All M cars, the fact that they rev so high. It's almost as if the M cars have got like a exaggerated experience. Like they feel faster than you're actually going. Brakes, they feel really sharp, but they don't feel overly assisted. But it's just a nice, consistent brake, you know. I forgot the brake pads that we've actually got installed, but I'm sure they were 390mm discs. Third gear, like, the brakes, look at this, unreal, the brakes. Second gear, and I just find it amazing that this car is running the power it is, and I've done most of it on stock parts. Like it was originally stock suspension, brakes, wheels, a set of Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, which I've done well over 10,000 miles. I can't work out, like guys, I've had these tyres on the car spinning up everything for well over 10,000 miles. I've had it serviced once in 19,000 miles. You would have seen the video out of Volvo Automotive. We did spark plugs, oil filters, a couple of £100, you know, and I just find it amazing, like how modified this car is and how reliable it's been. So, you know, any of you guys that are worrying about your stock cars or stage 1 tuned cars, you really don't have anything to worry about. I've probably done the most amount of miles running hybrid turbos probably in the UK. There's a few people cropping up now with similar mods. If I could go back in time and choose another car, I would probably choose the M4 again. You remember I've had the F80 M3, which I had to sell to kind of continue this YouTube journey, and it honestly is a dream to be back in this car with all the mods. It's just like, yeah, it's crazy. So guys, I am going to end the video there. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and as I say, get ready for some new and very, very exciting content coming to Living Life Fast. I'm sure, yeah, you're going to enjoy the new direction I'm going to take. So